In this vlog, I highlight what I did on my 7-day Western Mediterranean sailing on Disney Cruise Lines. I show you everything from wandering around Hania, also known as Crete, to a luxurious beach club in Athens, to getting lost in the narrow alleyways of Mykonos. Come along.
Let's take this show on the road.
Hi, my name is Carlene. I work a 9 to 5, but travel the world as if I don't. This is my channel, See It With C, where I share how I balance a thriving career while maintaining a travel lifestyle.
Tonight I gotta break free.
We spent the bulk of the morning sailing through the Strait of Messina, which is a narrow waterway that is between the tip of Sicily and the most southern point of Italy. A pilot boat guided us through the strait, and we were able to get a glimpse of the Princess Sun, or Sun Princess, which was in port that day. I grabbed a quick lunch at the Royal Court and then headed over to see Jack Jack's Diaper Dash, which is a staple on Disney cruise ships. These babies were some slow movers, so I headed out before the race ended just to catch some more views. And then honestly, today was heavily focused on food as I walked around the ship a bit and then prepared for dinner. Dinner this evening was back in the Royal Court, and I would say definitely take your waiter's advice on Disney. They will always make really good recommendations for food. I had the grilled shrimp or chilled shrimp. I had some lobster noodles that the waiter did not recommend, and I immediately took that back and got the prime rib. The next day we encountered our first port of call, which was Hania or Crete. In port with us that day were a P&O ship as well as the Marella Discovery 2, which I had not seen that cruise line, or at least this ship, up close in person before. I was not in a rush to get off the ship since I didn't have any plans, so I had a leisurely lunch in cabanas before disembarking for the day. Alright, so we arrived to our first port of call, which is Hania, Greece, also on the island of Crete. And I think I'm catching a shuttle bus into town just to kind of walk around, explore on my own. So come along. So my tip for you is to be sure to book your Disney excursions early. I got on this trip pretty late. I booked this trip pretty late, probably within the same week of the sailing. So I missed the opportunity to book a lot of the excursions, but here on the left hand side are a variety of options for Crete. There is a shuttle that will drop you off some distance into town, and you just kind of have to figure it out from there. So I would say Crete is a place that you also need to pre-plan. It's not easily, things to do aren't necessarily intuitive. I believe this area is called the Crete Harbor. You can find a glass bottom boat tour from this area, or just simply wander around into the various shops and boutiques that surround the harbor area. So this area is basically ruins from a German bombing. Something that I did not get to try the last time I was in Greece was orange wine. I'm able to try it today. strong. It's an acquired taste. I don't think I would be chugging down a whole bunch of orange wines, but I wanted to try it out. After one final lap around the harbor area, it was time to head back to the ship, and I decided to make a stop at Sweet on You, which is the sweet shop on Disney Fantasy. While in port, the shop is not able to sell anything, but it's good to know that they have a variety of cupcakes as well as ice cream. I passed all of that and decided to get me a couple of slices of pizza before exploring the ship. I found the pizza on board to be just okay. Alrighty, so I'm heading to the aqueduct while it's not super packed. Alright, just got done aqueduct. Could not bring the camera on. Didn't ask about GoPros, but it was a short and sweet ride, nice and swift. So worth doing in very, very short wait here in port. So trying to catch it on port day. It was day 3 of my trip, however, jet lag was still kicking my butt. So I pretty much had an evening in my room watching Disney movies. Good morning from Piraeus, which is Athens cruise port. We are here today. We've been docked pretty early since 6:30 and we're here till 8 o'clock p.m. Today I am doing the GNC beach break. So come along to get a feel of what beach life is like in the Med. One thing that I quickly learned about sailing the Mediterranean is that you're gonna have some pretty early mornings if you choose the cruise line excursions. And you also need to be mindful that there are very limited taxi cabs that will be available. Also, you will be primarily spending most of your time on a bus, and often these excursions are somewhere between 9 and 11 hours frequently for your longer port days. So that's just something to be mindful of for this style of cruising. So the meetup for fantasy excursions is the Buena Vista Theater. You basically sit here and wait for your paddle number to be called. The bus ride to the beach club and to the side of town in general in Athens that has beach clubs primarily is about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes away. So just be mindful. We had a few little people on our bus who were getting kind of cranky, so just be mindful of. It's a pretty nice hike to get to the side of town with the beach clubs. The cost of the excursion covered your transportation as well as a space per person, a lounger per person to sit at the beach club. Any drinks or food was an additional charge. Many of Greece's beach clubs have a reputation for this upbeat party atmosphere, but what many won't tell you is that frequently in the day hours, these beach clubs are pretty family friendly, and then there is a period in the day where things change, there's a DJ added, and it becomes a more up-tempo atmosphere. I would classify my day at Astor Beach Club as very quiet and very relaxing with very plush vibes. If you are looking for a more upbeat beach club, this is not the place for you to go, at least during the family hours that I was there. Then it was back to the ship to catch a couple pier runners. Something to be mindful of is that Athens has some pretty bad traffic, and even if you make it to the port, you still have to go through the customs process or immigrations process. So this individual had to run inside, still get cleared, all before the ship ran away. They were calling this individual a number of times, or this family a number of times. However, they did make it on board, but just be mindful of the time change, the time difference, and the traffic patterns whenever you are cruising internationally. Dinner this evening was back in Enchanted Garden, and for my mains or courses, I had the crab cake as well as the lo mein and shrimp diablo. On day 5, we arrived to my most anticipated port, which was Mykonos. However, had to have breakfast in the cabanas first. Good morning from Mykonos. I am about to explore for today. I have no excursions planned, but going to check out to see what things there are around town in Mykonos and see what we can find. Come along. So first off, when you arrive to Mykonos, Disney will have its own boat shuttle here, and it's totally free. Other cruise lines will make you pay the €2 to get over, but over to Mykonos town. But Disney includes the complimentary shuttle in its cruise fare, so that's kind of helpful for trying to get your day started, not having to worry about at least one mode of transportation. All right, I found the windmills on my own, but I cannot find the buses, so it might just be a restaurant and back to the ship today. If you follow the sign to say public bus stop, you're on the right way. Okay, I wanted to go to Paraga area, but I kind of got a little lost and turned around, so I didn't want to take a chance, and I just basically got on the first bus smoking, which is to Paradise Beach. I feel like people have Paradise Beach content, but I'd rather explore, but explore safely. Due to time constraints, I just headed to Paradise Beach Club. The bus stop will be right in front of the beach club entrance, easy to find. So I wanted to go to the Paraga area, but their buses were coming later and I already wasted a lot of time being lost. So the first bus out was Paradise Beach, which I believe this beach, I'm seeing a Kentucky bus. It's a little more vibrant, young, not your, I don't believe, most upscale, but at least gives me beach club vibes for the day. And then hopefully I can come back and get a different vibe for beach clubs and try more beach clubs, because I really love the beach club culture here in Mykonos, or in Greece in general, honestly. And apparently they have some sort of transportation themselves. Not sure from where though. So how Paradise Beach Club works is that you can sit at the bar, you can sit at any of these tables, as well as the tables right before you get to the sand without having to pay extra. You'll just have to pay for whatever your bill is. However, if you sit in any of the loungers, you will have to pay a fee for the lounge chairs, but you have a dedicated waiter that will wait on you throughout your stay there. There's also a beach club shop back there in case you have a random beach day. You can get a towel, you can get bathing suits, anything that you might need to have a good day. The texture of the sand is small pebbles, so you will want to bring your water shoes unless you just are used to this type of sand. It was a bit of an adjustment in texture for me. Also, I learned that in the Med the water is pretty cold, however it gets pretty warm, so it balances out. Bring your sunscreen. I decided to walk down the beach a little bit and found 2 more beach clubs that are accessible using the Paradise bus stop. All right, so if you get off at Paradise, there are 2 beach clubs that you can choose from. It looks like you have Paradise Beach, and then you have Tropicana, and both have similar vibes for right now. Low-key loungers. I didn't check the pricing, but you got a couple options if you get off at Paradise Beach. But there are plenty of beach clubs around here in Mykonos, so you kind of pick whatever one you want to kind of explore and adventure to. Now, at first glance, Tropicana's crowd looks a little more diverse. So my guess is they probably have probably more hip hop music whenever they switch over. But right now, everybody's playing kind of like jazzy renditions of like hip hop and reggae songs for the moment, but I heard it cranks up. I'm not sure when. I had to ask and find out. I wrapped up my day and headed back to the bus terminal, but I noticed that the Tropicana sign had signs that flyers for DJ parties. So my guess is this beach club really kind of turns up, and probably where you want to go for those later night parties that Mykonos is known for. This one, I think Virgin might have a monopoly on itineraries because things don't really crank up until 4:30. So. Or is it 2:30? For 1,600? I think it's 4:30. But I have to be back by 4:30 to catch my shuttle, and I don't want to chance it through these mountains. Alright, things to be mindful of. When they drop you back for Disney, you want to head to Mykonos Yacht Club. That's a 9-minute walk. Also be mindful of the bus may not be on time, so it says every half hour, but it may be running late. And then along the way, they may actually they might make a couple stops for local people who are on the route, so just factor that in. I decided to leave at 2:30 because I just felt like a later time would be pushing it too much, so now I have time to get lost going back to the port without feeling like rushed and crazy. So okay, things that I learned. I appreciate that Disney has the complimentary sea bus to the port area. I could totally see myself Greek island, island hopping the Synclades. It just was not enough time. But cool to experience. I definitely could come back here. So all right, Amazon Resort. So I've been collecting information about like where to go whenever I come back, and I've seen Amazon Resort, I've seen Tropicana Resort, so many places, so many ideas. And I will say, like, cruising just gives you a taste of everything for if you ever want to come back and, you know, just fully enjoy a port. So alrighty, back on the ship we go. Piece of me doesn't want to wait for this line because I have a feeling it's about to be a beast. I think I might just duck in here and see if there's somewhere to sit and wait. So you can catch the public bus from the cruise port and definitely from the ferry area. I think you'll have to just transfer in Fabrica, but that's kind of cool to know. All right. I were to do it all over again, I would have went to that beach. I was right there. I don't know the name. I can't see the name. That's where I would have went. Because you can walk. You can literally walk from here off the ship. Feeling froggy, you could climb something over here. But I would literally just walk down that way. 15-minute walk, they say. Our last stop was Naples, and I had already visited Pompeii via land-based vacation in Italy, so I decided to stay on board and was greeted by Royal Caribbean's newly amplified Allure of the Seas. Other than visiting Pompeii, the other popular excursions for Naples was the Amalfi Coast excursion, as well as there was a pizza making excursion that was pretty popular during this sailing. I seized the opportunity to take full advantage of this nearly empty ship by first washing clothes, because as a family, this ship was pretty full with people who were constantly using the laundry room. The cost to wash clothes was 3.5 euros, and it was charged to your Key to the World card. What I enjoyed most is that the machine is connected to your phone's app for the sailing, so you will be notified via app whenever your cycles are done. Very convenient. So while my clothes were washing, I was able to take advantage of the adults only area, which was pretty empty, as well as the Lido pool, which was fully empty too, and was able to get another ride on the aqueduct in. My final meal on board was at Animator's Palette, and boy, was this presentation emotional, but a really nice touch for wrapping up a 7-day Disney cruise. And that was a wrap on my 7-day sailing on Disney Fantasy. I used Disney Cruise Line's transfer for my 11:30 or so flight back from Rome Fiumicino Airport, and they offered door-to-door support at the airport. And that is a wrap on the 7 days Western Mediterranean sailing on Disney Cruise Line. It's See It with C. Thanks for traveling with me. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.